Welcome back, guys. If you caught part 1, you already know this story is something else entirely. In part 1, we met Alicia Berenson, a celebrated painter who shot her husband Gabriel 5 times in the face while he sat tied to a chair. No explanation, no escape attempt, no words. She was locked away in a psychiatric facility called The Grove, where for years not a single doctor, therapist, or judge could break through her wall of silence. Then came Theo Faber, a psychotherapist so obsessed with this case that he manipulated his entire career just to get close to her. And his personal life? Falling apart. His wife, Kathy, the woman he called the love of his life, was allegedly seeing someone else. Two deeply broken people, one buried secret, and a twist so perfectly constructed, most people never see it coming. But part 2 is where everything unravels, and trust me, you are not ready for what's underneath. Theo begins working with Alicia using unconventional methods. He digs into her childhood, he studies her artwork, looking for hidden meaning in every brushstroke. He speaks to people who knew her before the murder, her aunt, her friends, her former art dealer, and then he finds her diary. Alicia kept a detailed diary in the weeks leading up to the murder. And reading it is like descending into a slow building nightmare. Here's what the diary reveals. Alicia deeply loved Gabriel, but she had begun to suspect he was cheating on her. She felt increasingly paranoid, watched, like someone was following her. And then she describes something that reads almost like a fever dream. A masked man breaks into their home. He ties Gabriel to a chair. He stands over Alicia and forces her to make an impossible choice. Either she dies tonight or Gabriel does. Alicia, terrified, chooses herself. She chooses to survive, but what she witnesses in that moment destroys her completely because Gabriel, the man she loved, the man she would have died for, doesn't fight for her. He accepts it. He lets her go. The betrayal is total. And something inside Alicia breaks permanently. After the masked man leaves, Alicia picks up the gun and she kills Gabriel herself. Back at the Grove, Theo is making real progress. Alicia begins responding, not with words, but with small gestures, little notes, a flicker of acknowledgement. She's thawing, slowly, under Theo's persistent care. Other staff members at the Grove are suspicious of Theo's methods. He's crossing boundaries, getting too emotionally involved, too personally invested. One violent patient named Elif physically attacks Alicia, highlighting just how vulnerable she is in this place. But Theo keeps pushing. He's convinced he's doing the right thing. He's convinced this is about her healing. But here's the question. The story is quietly planting in the background. Is Theo here for Alicia or is he here for himself? Okay, this is where everything changes. I need you to put down whatever you're doing and pay attention because this twist is one of the greatest in modern fiction. Are you ready? Theo Faber was the masked man. Let that sit for a second. The compassionate therapist, the man who fought to get Alicia the help she deserved, the narrator we trusted for the entire book. He was the one in the mask. Here's what actually happened. Theo had been secretly following Kathy after his suspicions about her affair grew unbearable. And what he discovered broke him. Kathy was having an affair with Gabriel Berenson, Alicia's husband. Unhinged and consumed by rage, Theo broke into Alicia and Gabriel's home one night. He wore a mask so he couldn't be identified. He tied Gabriel to a chair and then he gave Alicia that brutal, impossible choice. Her life or Gabriel's? He wanted to destroy Gabriel's life the same way Gabriel had destroyed his. He wanted Gabriel to suffer, but what he didn't expect, what he could never have anticipated, was what Alicia would witness in that moment. Gabriel didn't fight. Gabriel didn't beg Theo to spare his wife. Gabriel, the man Alicia had given everything to, was willing to let her die to save himself. That betrayal is what broke Alicia. Not the masked intruder, not the fear, not even the violence, the fact that the person she loved most in the world chose himself when it mattered most. After Theo left that night, Alicia walked to the bedroom. She retrieved the gun and she made her choice. She killed Gabriel and then she went silent. Because what do you say after something like that? How do you explain a betrayal that deep? How do you put into words the moment your entire world revealed itself to be a lie? Here's the part that makes this story truly masterful. Theo is treating Alicia, getting closer to her, piecing together her truth. And he has no idea that she's piecing together his. Because Alicia slowly is remembering the mask, the voice, the way the intruder moved. She begins to put it together. She realizes who the masked man was. And in the final act of the novel, Alicia does what she's been preparing to do all along. She speaks. Not out loud, not in a confession room, not to the police. She writes it down. A note. His name, Theo Faber. And just like that, the silence breaks. The story collapses on itself. Everything Theo told us, every moment of apparent compassion, every scene of therapy and care, it was all built on the foundation of his own guilt. Theo is exposed, arrested. His career, his marriage, his constructed identity, all of it gone. Okay, so on the surface, this is a thriller about a murder, a mystery, and a twist. But what Alex Michaelides is really writing about is far deeper than that. Silence as power. Alicia's refusal to speak was never weakness, it was control. It was the only power she had left in a world that had completely failed her. And she used it perfectly. The unreliable narrator. Theo lies to us, but more terrifyingly, he lies to himself. He genuinely believes he wants to help Alicia. That self-deception is what makes him so chilling. Betrayal and the people we love. The real horror of this story isn't the murder. It's the moment Gabriel chose himself. That's the moment everything died. Obsession disguised as compassion. Theo looks like a devoted therapist. But his obsession with Alicia was never truly about her healing. It was about his own need to control, to fix, to dominate the narrative. And that, guys, is The Silent Patient. One of the most perfectly constructed psychological thrillers I've ever come across. Alex Michaelides plays you like an instrument from page one, and by the time you reach that final twist, you realize he was always in control. If you haven't read this book, go read it. Seriously. Tonight. And if you've already read it, drop a comment below. What was your reaction when you hit that twist? Did you see it coming? Be honest. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel more than you know. And subscribe if you want more deep dives like this every week. I'll catch you in the next one.